Hi, my name is Jeddy Ochuodho, Manager, Taxpayer Education, Kenya Revenue Authority. This is Stories of Ushuru. Today, I want to introduce you to tax in Kenya. What is tax? Human beings, we are orderly animals. We like to organize how we live, but not everybody does that. What we do, we elect a government to organize our lives, make sure we have our roads, make sure that everything works out well. But the government does not use their own money, because who is the government? Can you pinpoint and say that this is the government? No, the government is me and you. So every 5 years, we elect a government to run our affairs. What the government does is they charge a levy on everybody's income and earning. What is levying a charge? When you work and earn a salary, or if you're doing your business, the government takes a little portion from you, takes a little portion from somebody else, then all this is put together to provide these services. As we say, haba na haba hujaza kibaba. So basically, that is what tax is. But tax is nothing new. When you go back in history, the first instance of recorded tax was about 300 BC. Wow, that's a long time ago. But that is when it is recorded that the pharaohs of Egypt used to collect levies from their subjects. And when we go to religion, we find tax in religion. When you go to the Bible, in the Old Testament, we hear about the pharaohs of Egypt taking a fifth of the crop that was kept together, and then it would be used during famine, or if there was a war, that is what the soldiers would eat. So you can see that this is nothing new. This is something that has been there for a long time. When you go to the New Testament, I'm sure we all know about Zacchaeus, the short man. That is the guy who gave tax collectors a bad name. He was collecting taxes even in the days of Jesus. So Christians, it's both a moral and a religious obligation. Now let's go to Islam. Even in Islam, they have zakah, where every year the faithfuls are obligated at the end of the year to calculate their profit and give out 20% of that profit to help the poor, to help the needy. So guys, this issue of tax, it's not something that has just been pulled out of nowhere. Even your religion demands that you pay your taxes. And it is not this government that has brought about taxation. Even in the colonial days, the colonialists used to levy poll tax on every man who had a hut. And guys, in those days, we didn't have those 40-year-olds living with their parents. Every guy used to have his Simba, his Digira there, but sometimes you have that, but you have no earning. But they expected you that at the end of every month, you give out something. Unfortunately, in those days, if you did not pay your taxes, ole wako. They would come, they would grab your bed, they grab your one chair, they would grab your chicken. And that is what gave taxation a bad name in Kenya. Now, people became very resentful because they felt these Muzungus were just collecting from them, but most of the services were going to the white man and to the Muhindi. So when they left, something had to be done to make things better and to make people want to pay their taxes. Now, taxes are collected by Kenya Revenue Authority. And the main thing that we struggle for at Kenya Revenue Authority is compliance. What is compliance? Kenya Revenue Authority just want people to pay their taxes willingly and honestly. In those early days, what used to happen, Kenya Revenue Authority would calculate for you and tell you, Mr. Njoroge, Mr. Kamau, Mr. Musa, you owe Kenya Revenue Authority this much, you earned this amount of money, this is what you're supposed to give us. But then this changed, and Kenya Revenue Authority went to a self-assessment regime. Now it is up to you. You are the one who comes and tells us, this is the much that I have collected, this is what is due, and you pay. But unfortunately, much as that trust was extended, most people are not honest. People are not compliant. You'll find that some traders, they will collect some VAT, but they do not remit it. Somebody brings like a whole Range Rover from out there. But because they are doing their own assessment, they say, it's just like a pro box to Skuma Samira from Meru to Wilson Airport. So that is what KRA struggles with. We are struggling. We will try to educate people so that they can be compliant. Now, what is all this compliance? Why do we want people to be compliant? What are the benefits of paying taxes? Hey, those ones are many. Thika Superhighway. You find schools, we have free primary education, subsidized secondary education. You go to university, help is waiting for you there. Now, when you go to hospitals, mothers, they get their children. If you go to a government hospital, you do not pay. Salaries, government workers, the salaries are paid from all these taxes. So you can see, if you pay your taxes, that is when the government is able to provide these services. There is one thing that people don't look at, one major advantage, sovereign pride. If we pay our taxes, all these things I'm talking about, we are able to provide them as a country. But if we do not provide them, if we are not able to, we have to go out there and borrow money. We have to go and ask for grants. Now, even as a parent, if you don't have food today, you'll tell your children, mulale, to just sleep. Tomorrow will be a better day. If the next day you don't have food, third day, you are not going to tell the kids to sleep hungry. You're going to go to your neighbor to ask for some little flour, some maize and beans. But once your neighbor starts feeding you, are they going to respect you? Certainly not. They will not. So even as Kenya, if we are able to sort our own issues with our taxes, then the other countries are not going to lord it over us. But if we do not collect taxes, life has to continue. We'll have to go out to the donor community. We'll have to go and start begging and borrowing from people. And once we do that, we have to dance to their tune. So that is a very important benefit of taxation that people do not think about. What are the effects of not paying your taxes? Hey, if you don't pay your taxes, because life has got to continue, you find that the few who are paying, the burden is heavy on them. Yani, you're putting all that weight on a few shoulders. And that's why people complain that, oh, Kenya, the rate is so high. If everybody did their part, then I'm sure the rate would come down a bit. Number two, if you're not paying your taxes, if people are not tax compliant, what happens? The rate of development is slow because we have Thika Superhighway. Hey, who says that we don't want Mombasa Superhighway or Nyeri Superhighway or Machako Superhighway? You know, everywhere, if we had enough money, we would have all those nice roads. If we had money, we have electricity connections everywhere. But because the money is not enough, the pace of development is not as fast as we would want it to be. And finally, we will not have our sovereign pride because, as I said, life has got to continue. So if we do not make enough money, we have to get it from somewhere. And where are we going to get it from? We go out there, and once we go and get that money from out there, maybe we want to build roads, but they will tell us, no, do not build roads. Maybe go and put it in hospitals. Or we want to put it in schools, and we are told, no, do not put it in schools. Maybe go and do a windmill or something like that. So it is important for people to be tax compliant so that we can chart our own destiny. I hope that now you all understand what tax is in Kenya. If you have any further questions or you have any comments or you want us to clarify anything, please feel free to contact us on our contacts below. And we are also live on all the social media platforms. My name is Jeddy Ochuodho, Manager, Tax Education. And this is Stories za Ushuru.